I don't know where Bully Ray is coming from with that, but I think there will be some. I think this is to set up. When they said make the call, I don't think those guys meant for him to call Paul Heyman. I think they meant for him to call Seth Rollins.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new and fun episode, I have a feeling, of the Wrestling Time Machine. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with legendary pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter, and Mr. Holla Holla Famer, Teddy Long. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hey, I need a haircut. I need a haircut.
You need a haircut. Yeah, so do Teddy and I. Hey, before we get into wrestling, let me ask you something, just out of curiosity. Is there a program now, like a streaming service program or a television program that you are tuned into every week that's just must-see TV for you outside of wrestling? Is there a must-see TV television? What is it for you, Bill?
Well, there's two or three. There's the FBI series on CBS, Law and Order. I love, and there was a limited series on I think it's Netflix or HBO Max called The Penguin. So it was very.
I have not seen The Penguin, and somebody asked me about that the other day. They said that was an incredible show to watch.
Great.
Teddy, do you have any weekly shows that you keep up with? It's just like, is it must-see TV?
Yeah, The Family Guy. I look at that every night. I love that. And I also look at On Patrol Live. That's another one of my shows that I like. And there's one more there, Judge Judy.
Judge, I do like Judge Judy if I come across her. Yeah. Well, let me ask you then. Back in the during the Monday Night Wars, would you say that was must-see TV?
Absolutely.
I would.
Yep, I would too.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
So here's the question: is today's wrestling must-see TV, Bill?
Wow, what a question. Well, for me, it is professionally.
Take that out of the equation. If it's not about your job, are you going to tune in every week to watch the wrestling products?
Yeah.
It's must-see TV.
I think Raw and SmackDown for me would be must-see TV. It's hard to take myself out of that equation. I've been doing it so long.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up, and Teddy, I'm going to get to you too, is that, I was realizing the other day, there were certain shows like The Arrow that's on Netflix.
Oh.
Man, I watched the entire series just great. It was one after the other. It was must-see TV. I couldn't wait to see the next one. I don't feel that way with today's wrestling. I don't know why, but it just made me think about it. And I'm thinking, that's an issue. That's a problem, isn't it, Teddy? Do you have a problem with it not being must-see TV, or is it must-see TV for you?
Well, some of it is must-see TV for me, not all of it, okay? Yeah. Because, like I said, and, with today's wrestling from the Attitude Era, certainly a lot has changed. And I think now it's more entertainment than it is professional wrestling. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. So it's not old school no more. It's advanced, and we're Hollywood now. So you're gonna have to just change with the times.
Is TV being consumed differently, Bill? I mean, I feel like what used to be the way we watched wrestling, where we watched, they started at 8 o'clock and they ended at 10 or 11 o'clock, and if you had two shows going at the same time, you had a VCR going so you could record or go back and forth popping channels.
Or you were going like WCW, WWF days. I had that a wired remote from Comcast, and I was going clink, 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 clink. I tried to tape them, on the VCR, but. Man.
But I don't know that people consume wrestling the same way anymore. I almost feel like wrestling now is being consumed in bits and pieces and not as a whole. Would that be fair to say?
I agree. I really do. I really do. That's a great statement.
Wrestling is not wrestling anymore. Wrestling now is entertainment.
Yeah, and short segments, very short segments, because in reality, when you go to social media, you're either going to look at a match that you're interested in and don't care about anybody else, or you're going to see a 30-second clip of something that happened, a big move or something, and you'll catch yourself up that way. I can't tell you how many times I've actually gone to YouTube and looked at a Raw review of the night instead of watching the entire show. I'll watch 15 minutes of kind of a breakdown of what happened on the show, only because I am not that vested into the program like I was back in the during the Attitude Era.
A lot of the younger people, there's a tick crack.
Yep, I could tell.
Not a tooth, it's tick crack. But a lot of the younger
people. You don't need Narcan, do
you? Not even a garbage can. Anyway, but a lot of people now, for example, I know a lot of my relatives, when they watch it, they're on a train coming home from work and they're watching it on this. We couldn't do that back in the old days. You know, there's no way to watch TV other than going home and watching TV. But now you have computer, you've got your cell phone. Streaming has taken over so much of actual television time. Now it's a different world.
So what's the value of a network now? I mean, because really, the television networks now, it's almost kind of like, I don't get it, because more times than not, I'll watch Raw, on my streaming service, and I'll just go back to the beginning. I'll fast forward past the commercials, everything. So I never see a commercial. So if you're in network TV, I don't know what the hell you're selling your sponsors, because you're selling them advertising space for an area where most people are going to go zipping right on by. So you're
Monday Night Raw
money.
is going streaming. It's going to Netflix in January. So it's going off your usual television.
But that's only for one show, because we still have USA is going to be running.
It's going to be more, though, eventually. I think with the success that but Netflix has to be careful, because the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, whatever you want to call it, they had tons of streaming problems and a lot.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. As a matter of fact, that is something we are going to discuss. So let me get into what we're going to discuss today, because I got sidetracked for a second there. Some big names have been announced.
That was good sidetracking.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
I'm not sure I believe what I said in terms of is it must-see TV? I'm not sure. Professionally it is, but as a fan, I'm not sure.
I don't crave it like I would crave my other shows. Teddy, go ahead.
We're old school fans. You see what I mean? There's a whole brand new generation out there now, and they're not going to take it like we took it, or they're not going to see it in the same eyes as I.
Right, you're right.
You see what I mean? So that's what's going to happen there. They're going to make their own decisions on who they like and who they don't like, and what they want to see and what they don't want to see. And so I love Mac. I love him. He's a sweetheart, but he just refuses to come into the 20th century.
I know
the old school is gone, Matt. They're not doing it no more. And I see you get so frustrated with it, because it's how you would look at it. But we can't base it on how we feel now. We have to base it on what the fans feel. We got to go with it whether we like it or not.
One of the hosts on Backstage Pass, Joe Lowry, great guy. What a day, Joe Lowry. Every time we do our Wrestle Votes show, it ends right around the time of NXT, and he says, well, we all got to get off here and go to NXT. And I said, no, Tuesday night is FBI or Law and Order. It's one of the two. And I said, I'll tape NXT, but Law and Order and FBI is must-see TV for me.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys that are watching us right now, is today's wrestling must-see TV for you? Leave it down below.
Show is must-see. This show is must-see.
Oh, this show is definitely must-see. Yeah. And just share it with all your friends, by the way. Pass it around.
And your enemies.
Right, real quick, Roman Reigns tried to call the wise man on a recent episode of Raw, but Paul Heyman ended up not being on the other end. Instead, he got the message, this number is no longer in service, and so the wise man was not reachable. Bully Ray just recently suggested that maybe Paul Heyman could be someone else's manager. The Rock. Bill, your thoughts?
It doesn't matter. Hello, Paul? Yeah. Bill? Yeah. Rock? No, not going to happen. No.
No, you don't think so?
Paul Heyman being the manager of The Rock, I can't see that happening. The Rock doesn't need that presence of someone else with him.
I agree. I agree.
Not at all. I don't know what Bully Ray is coming from with that, but I think there will be some. I think this is to set up. When they said make the call, I don't think those guys meant for him to call Paul Heyman. I think they meant for him to call Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And apologize to Seth Rollins. That's what I think it is. With the Heyman thing, with the phone number being disconnected, that's probably another angle with something else related to the bloodline, but not. Paul Heyman might answer the phone for Solo. That's the angle. Will Paul Heyman wind up? Does Solo have the phone number of Paul Heyman, the new one that exists?
I hope not. Teddy, your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I kind of agree with Bill. I don't see Heyman, managing The Rock. I mean, you never know in this business. Never say never. Even it may be for a short time. I don't know. But I think that phone call should have been, it should have been trying to call The Rock. That's what I think.
What Bully Ray would? You know what Bully Ray would say? You're trying to tell me that you don't believe what I'm saying? Anyway, that's my best Bully Ray.
Bully Ray is a guy that would go to the store and buy a TV and put the VCR in the layaway.
Okay.
I work with these two each and every week. You just don't know what you're missing.
VCRs, don't tell them.
All right, guys, we're out of time. We got some more things, but we will go way over time if we do that. So we'll save these for next week. But in the meantime, anything coming up for you, Teddy, we need to talk about?
No, nothing's coming up.
All right. Bill, how about you?
I did an interview recently with Bill Goldberg's son, Gage Goldberg, including how he got that unusual name. So look for that on WrestleBinge. It'll be coming up whenever you're watching this somewhere in the very near future.
And you can catch Teddy and I every Friday and anywhere you get your favorite podcast on the YouTube platform for a Road Trip After Hours. It's a fantastic show. We have fun with that each and every week. It's pretty much like this. It's freewheeling and we just have a good time.
Freewheeling. Don't forget. Subscribe. Patreon. Backstage Pass. Great stuff. Vince Russo. Mac Davis, Joe Lowry, JBL, Teddy Long, Gerald Briscoe, and me.
If you forgot somebody, you're going to be in trouble because you forgot.
Vince and Jonathan Coachman too.
All right, so but that's it. Yeah, we mentioned all these names. We ran out of time. I can't even say goodbye now. So see ya.
See you at the matches.